Hey everybody, it's your Uncle Bear. Happy Monday to you. Back to the grind for all of you. I never got off the grind since last week. So, anyway, I was thinking a few minutes ago, when you've been doing this for a while, you start to remember things that kind of made you chuckle. I don't know, it's probably about 30 years ago or so. I was going west on I-70, going across Kansas, and it was probably 3 o'clock in the morning. I had a light load on, maybe 25,000 or something, and anyway, the scale was open, and so I get off, and of course back then, 95% of us out here smoked, which is why you didn't see obesity in truck drivers near as much as you do now, because we smoked all the time. That kept us from eating all the time, because you got to do something with your hands in the truck, right? Anyway, now we all eat all the time. We're big old bellies on us now. But anyways, or bigger, I should say. Anyway, so I had a cigarette going, and I pulled into the scale, and I get up there on the scale, and he pulls me around, tells me to bring my logbook and paperwork in. So I bring my paperwork in, and anyway, he kind of flips through my permit book a minute, and he looks up at me. He says, "You know why I pulled you in here?" I said, No, I don't. He said, I noticed when you hit the ramp that you had a cigarette lit. I thought, oh man, here we go. We got a non-smoker going to get me. And anyway, he said, my wife made me quit about 2 weeks ago. He said, I am just dying for a cigarette. He says, can I bum one of your cigarettes? I kind of chuckled, and I said, I don't just give my cigarettes away to people. I said, that's just bad business. I said, tell you what, I said, you got coffee on, don't you? And he said, yeah. I said, how about this? I'll trade you a cigarette for a cup of coffee. And he said, all right. So he poured me a cup of coffee, and we went outside, and hell, we stood there shooting the breeze for about 45 minutes, just, smoking cigarettes and drinking coffee. And he was a really good guy. And we had a lot of those good guys out there. We still do. We got a lot of dicks out there now too. But he was a good guy. And hopefully he's out there and he sees this and recognizes me and realizes that I thought he was a pretty good guy. Anyway, yeah, like I say, we had a good chat that night. So anyway, be safe out there.